Hi, family. Hi, it's me. It's Dr. Glanton from Still Standing. And I am really excited to talk to you tonight. I'm going to be talking to you about something that's been on my mind for a while. And I've been kind of pondering over it. So you can consider this an episode. This would be episode 17, where I'm just talking about here I go again. I'm choosing this topic because I retired from the military. And I want to thank all of you that have been supporting my podcast. I retired in 2022. I've been out for 3 years, and I've been struggling trying to figure out what's next. And during the course of this podcast and all the different topics that I've talked about, I learned that I feel like I'm in that cycle of here I go again. You know, I've gone through many years and I have a 30 plus year of nursing experience and all kinds of education. I have my doctorate. I was in the military. I retired as a colonel. And I feel like I don't know if you ever felt this way before. I just feel like I'm in this space where it doesn't seem like there's ever enough. Does it ever end? And, I've really been reflecting and thinking upon that. And I realized that I struggle with that even myself, even though I have had a lot of challenges in life and have overcome a lot of things, experienced a lot of resiliency through marriages, through the military, through working, through raising a family. And I thought, now that I'm retired, I had this high expectation of how my life would be. I'm going to just kind of go off into the sunset and everything is going to be okay. Well, the world doesn't let you do it that way. Yes, I have successfully retired and I'm thankful for that, but the world doesn't allow me to just go off and not still continue to be accountable for what's still yet to come. I just turned 65 this year. So between dealing with menopause, dealing with life changes, retiring, dealing with my empty nest syndrome. My children are grown as my husband and I, and then dealing with changing careers and still needing to work. And I don't know why very few people don't have to work, but even if you have money saved or investments, you still may need to work because, you still have a long way to go and we don't know what the future holds. And I'm really baffled by that. Yes, I'm thankful I do have a job. I am working full time and I'm grateful for that. But I feel like here I go again. I have those expectations, and those things that you still need to do and to maintain your professional career feels like more of the same to me. And I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that or if you're experiencing that. Like when you're like, here I am now again, I've reached one milestone and then there's always seems to be something else. And as I've prayed about that and think about it, I have to ask myself, who's doing that to me? Is that my own perception of my own self-worth and value? Some people call this imposter syndrome. And when I thought about that, imposter syndrome, I may suffer from that, because with all the accomplishments and all the things that I have done, you still feel like, have I done enough? Am I valued for what I have done? Do I feel valued for the work that I've put in? And I bet there's many of you that feel that way. And I want you to know that you're not alone. This is something that I've had to look at in my own life, even after I've retired, when I clearly have had these successes during the course of it. It wasn't all easygoing. It was difficult. It was difficult because my military career going in at 40 years old, I didn't think I could even do it. Then I had to overcome being able to do the physical part of it, the running and the push-ups and sit-ups. That was another thing. Then I had to try to overcome my age because I felt like I'm older than everybody. It was constant. Then I had the expectation of continuing my education. I had my bachelor's, which I just gotten. And then I had to worry about getting a master within that first year of my military career. So it was always something. Then during that course of that, I'm trying to raise my children and not get put out of the military. So trying to keep up with those things. And I think during the process of that, you get so focus on task and survival, I call it, that you actually literally lose a little bit of yourself. So for the last 20 something years, I've been in a robot type of a mode where you're constantly executing and getting things done to meet certain goals. And I can honestly tell you that, yes, that was survival, and that's what I allowed myself to do to survive, mainly out of fear and not thinking that I was enough and could do it, and building confidence on the way and still wondering if that was good enough. And, trying to get into schools and having to take exams over again because I didn't pass certain things, and always trying to make sure that you meet a certain standard. And it can be exhausting. But one of the things that I realized since I've retired is that I think I'm tired of being tired. And I'm wondering, what does it take, Leslie, for it to be enough? And this is a question I want you to ask yourself, because you can be really hard. We can be hard on ourselves because we feel as though, well, we still need to do more. It's just not true. Yes, there are things that we need to do, but when does it become enough? And I believe that God doesn't put that on us. That's something that our society has helped ingrain in our hearts and in our minds, that, we have to meet whatever goals that they have or expectations that they have of us. But it doesn't mean that is the way that we need to live. So when I think about my children, I have 3 children, and I have a daughter that's a doctor. She's 43, and a daughter that's a lawyer that's 36, and I guess so. And my son, who's a tech engineer, he's 33. And when I listen to them, I feel like, what have I done to these children? They're like robots, just constantly achieving. And I am proud of them, but I also realize that there's much more to your life than just the things that you achieve. Is being mentally well, spiritually well, and physically well. Because the world that we're in today, and the generation, my children, which are the millennials and the Gen Xers, they're burning the candle on both ends, and I've done that. And I am here to tell you that here it is now. I'm 65, and I'm telling you, in this part of my life and season in my life, that's not what you want to do for the next 20 years. I think that you have to think about what your priorities are. You do have to survive. But I'm praying that my experience in the military and as a leader in the private sector, still working, that my experiences will help other people think about and chart out their paths for themselves, for their future. And I have some ideas about what's things that I wish that I had done at a younger age. And a lot of it is, definitely establishing a tech skill set, and it doesn't necessarily have to be long education. It could be technical skills, electrician, or whatever your interest may be. And if it is going to be a graduate school, to pick something that's going to be able to provide long-term stability for you. And in these days and times, you're really going to have to do some research on what that looks like and what type of support that you have. And it's very important that you work out how to mentally and physically take care of yourself during the course of that, because it can be very hard on you emotionally and physically. And I've denied myself a lot. So now, as I am trying to rediscover who I am as a woman, as a person, not just a mother or officer or a doctor, but as a human being and what's important to me. And I actually struggle sometimes trying to figure out what it is that I actually want that doesn't involve me achieving something. Just think about that for a minute. I am hardwired to achieve, but that's not very fruitful because I struggle with what that imposter syndrome, feeling like, if I'm not doing something, do I need to be doing more? Am I doing enough? And of course I'm doing enough. I don't need to do anything else. And my plan was to do the things that God put on my heart to do. And I enjoy doing the podcast to help people, but I really don't have to prove anything else to myself. So I want you to, in this journey, and hopefully I get to have these conversations with you, that today is more of a conversation that I wanted to have with you of my personal journey and the things that I am thinking about in this time and season in my life, and how sometimes challenging it is, especially being a senior, just your physical health and, just trying to stay active and trying to find that comfort zone of where I am, and meaning that, the things that I can enjoy or look forward to doing with my family, and mainly for myself, trying to take care of myself, because that's not something that I've actually had spent a lot of time doing. When I say that, meaning that finding out, like, doing things that I want to do, and I have to think about, well, what is it that I want to do? So I have to put a lot of thought into it, and sometimes I am happier doing things for others than I am thinking to do things for myself, and it shouldn't really be that way. But I'm encouraged, and I want you to be encouraged, but I want you to know that if you are feeling that way, feeling like, am I doing enough? Am I enough? I just can't seem to get ahead with my job, or every time I do something or try to accomplish, something else is needed. I want you to know that that's not true. You are authentic. You are amazing. You have done amazing things. And I want to be the first to tell you that, because I have to tell myself that all the time. And that it's okay if you don't want to do anything else right now, if you're taking a break, or, you don't want to live up to someone else's expectations. You need to find what makes you feel happy and at peace with yourself. But this is just part of our beginning discussions. As I promised, in 2026, we're going to level up. Level up meaning that not because we're going to find more tasks to do, but we're going to find a way to find the happiness and the peace and the fulfillment that this amazing life has for us. And I'm on that journey with you. And I look forward to sharing that time and talking to you. I'm Dr. Glanton from Still Standing, and I can't wait to see you again. Thank you, and have a good night.